Happy birthday, Happy
What up, everyone? Hello and welcome to TownHall. Here's episode number 174. Totally noticed it doesn't say it on the screen. My name is Solid Jake. I'm here with Dunk Train, Kala, March, and a last-minute addition, June. Welcome, everyone. Let's get on the line, starting with June. June, I heard you got shit on by a bird. How was that?
That was very fun experience. It happened literally day one of a boot camp. So I ended up not watching it until tournament's over, which was about 3 weeks. It was fun.
Nice. How much of your success would you credit that for? I mean, like, what percent? Like, were you a little god because you had bird poop on your pants, or it didn't matter, or what's up?
I think it helped for sure. I think it improved my APM by 50%. So,
wow.
Damn, that's OP.
That seems a lot.
Did you actually get rid of the pants entirely?
No, I ended up keeping it. I was actually thinking about like throwing away, but I couldn't. Too much memories.
We have so many good memories with those pants, man. Remember when we were walking back from the event and you're like, Kala, I have to take off my pants and I need you to take a picture of me in front of the lake. I'm like, okay, so June's taking off his pants in public and he's freaking out. He's like, what if they see me? There's families coming. I'm like, drop trowel, like, we'll block you. We'll take the picture. We'll get out of here. Man, you guys are ridiculous.
That was crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. June, if you had to give a favorite memory outside of gameplay from your trip in Sweden, what would that be?
So there was this lake by our hotel, and after our loss, I went to lake with Kala and some people, and the view there was like really, really beautiful, and I think I can never forget that view. It was amazing. Helped me kind of like heal the healing of defeat. So I think that was my favorite memory.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of that lake, I think,
That's
right?
cool.
I even mentioned them to you, Carl, that it looked amazing. Like,
It was unbelievable. I can't actually describe how beautiful that lake is because at that specific time in Jönköping, the sun doesn't really ever go all the way down, so it kind of just like stays under the mountains for a while, and then comes back up. So it's like this perpetual.
In summer, I'd imagine. Yeah, I would imagine it's the seasonal. I bet winter's the polar opposite.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's always kind of has this little bit of light out, but yeah, it's like 2 hours of twilight, and we just sat there with like a guitar and looked at the sun as it went down behind the mountains and just chilled. It was so sweet.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That's really good. Well, March, you had your own events going on. You moved into a new place. Congrats on that.
oh, thanks. Yeah, finally made enough streamer money to get out of the parents' place. And yeah,
Dollar
but,
bill,
exciting
God.
stuff. It feels great, honestly. I mean, I've only been on my own here for like 3-4 days, but been streaming at this place ever since, and I love it, honestly. The independence is sweet, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Cool, man.
The drops event is really helping with that too. With
Oh.
the stream exposure and stuff, so especially now that I'm paying rent.
Nice.
Dude, paying for rent/mortgage, the tough life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kala, you obviously just got back from Sweden as well. How was your trip?
It was great. London was fantastic. June is not only obviously part of the team, but whenever we go somewhere, he's also like my tourist partner, I guess, if you want to call it that. So June and I are the only two that really like getting out and doing other things. So, in London, we went and checked out Buckingham Palace, and like we went to Big Ben, and we went and checked out the London Eye, and we went to like the platform 9 3/4 at King's Crossing and all that stuff. Like we actually did some touristy stuff, which was a lot of fun. And then on top of that, in Stockholm, we went to the Vasa Museum, which is like the 17th century warship museum, which was freaking insane, you guys.
What?
You walk into this like
really...
giant concrete building that's like 7 stories tall, and there is a literal warship, like this freaking, it's the only one that's intact in the entire world, and it was absolutely crazy. And then just like checking out Old Town Stockholm and all that jazz, and yeah, I don't know, I had a fantastic time. Everything, like aside from the tournament, obviously the tournament and boot camp was the best ever. Like we had such an awesome time, great performance, and the boot camp was, I would say, the best boot camp that we've ever had. But yeah, everything was just great.
Sounds dope, man.
Yeah, that's a heck of a trip. Long trip, right? 15 days or so?
Yeah, 15 or 16, I think, yeah.
Cool, man. Dunkus, what's new, man?
Yo.
How you been?
Yeah, not much new for me. Just kind of chilling, hitting the stream gun pretty hard again. March mentioned the drops promotion that's like actually super popping off for all the hero streamers right now. So I've just been on the mono heroes grind.
Yeah.
And it's pretty decent. Yeah.
It's even got me playing Hero League again. I've been out of Hero League for like 3 months, and I've resumed playing in that. And with that, the other reason is there's this little event going on that a lot of us are part of. It's called the Echoes of Alterac Call to Arms. If you haven't heard about it, Blizzard's hosting an event where there's Horde and Alliance. Now, I'm wearing my Alliance jersey. I'm proud, got my little lion over here. The rest of these filth are greenskins and undead. And Dunk literally lives in the Shadow Realm. Like, I don't know what just happened, but it's actually really cool because, like you guys are talking about with drops, the streamer initiative where we have been given designated time slots to basically play with certain goals in mind to earn points for our faction. And then next Wednesday, I guess 6 days from now, we're playing a best of 5 show match. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I really think it's a cool event. And you guys aren't wearing your shirts yet. March, you got to get yours. Kala, where's yours?
I don't know. I'm Canadian, so it takes forever for it to get here.
I'm literally going to pick mine up right after this show.
He's like, yo, I need one.
I'm
Well,
excited.
it's super cool. So that's one of many cool things that have been happening in the scene. And tonight we're talking about, yes, absolutely, the mid-season brawl. That's going to be our last topic. We're going to start out by talking briefly about Rel. She's very new and fresh, and in my Rel is level 2. I don't know how much you guys have played her, but she's not my cup of tea for a hero. After that, we're going to talk about Alterac Pass, and of course, then into mid-season brawl. So let's talk about Rel. She is labeled as a
Real
warrior.
quick.
Yep.
Is that actually how you say your name? I've been saying like all sorts of different variations of like Urel, like I don't know. Is it just Rel?
I thought it was Auriel with like a small
It might be
Y
Urel. It might be
sound.
Urel. You know?
But I
Urel?
don't know.
You know?
I don't know. It's yeah. Okay.
Someone in chat knows.
I'm
Tyrell.
sure someone in chat will flame us and let us know.
I thought it was
Urel?
Urel as well.
All right. Urel. You know? Urel. That's my
Sure.
that's my trick. That'll help me know, Anyways, so what do you guys think about the hero? She's fresh. She's I want to say she's spicy, but she's really just kind of not.
She's very mild, if anything.
Poggers.
If we compare her to any of the other heroes that have been released recently, it's kind of underwhelming. I personally don't like the fact that all of her abilities channel. It's like you get interrupted on them. They feel underwhelming. Not just like a tuning factor, but everything involving with her kit right now, I don't know, it doesn't feel very satisfying. And mainly just the fact that she's so easy. You look at her and you know exactly what she's doing. It's so easy to just predict what she's going to be doing, where she's going to go, what sort of engagements she's looking to have happen. Everything about her kit is very predictable. And I don't know, the fact that you can't even like weave auto attacks in between while she's channeling or winding things up, stuff like that. It's not a hero for me personally.
Yeah, and like, how do you fix that though? Like,
I mean,
without
not every
completely
hero has to
changing
be
her, like,
for
playstyle.
everyone, right?
yeah,
That's true. I'm a little worried though. Like, I feel like this character has the kind of kit where when they inevitably buff her out of her current state, she's just going to be like super obnoxious to play against because she's like just going to be invulnerable. Yeah. And like, I don't know. I personally have I'm really strong negative feelings about both heroics, but I don't know.
I agree with that. I think the ring will be kind of toxic if they buff her in any other way.
I think she's one of those heroes, and we often talk about this. There's heroes that feel fun and satisfying to play as, and then there's heroes that are fun and satisfying to play against. And playing as a Auriel, I'm just like, great, here comes a sponge. She's just going to absorb a shit ton of stuff, and then she's going to leap away like a fairy princess. And that's, to me, like, it just, it's not like I feel like I can do a whole lot about her approach. She's got pretty short cooldowns, and her disrupt, it's not like huge, but it's irritating enough. But I haven't played against her a whole lot myself.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's played much of her honestly in Hero League. Even like I would say in the week she's been out, I've seen maybe 8 games of her in Hero League, which is just like a really small sample size, especially for a fresh hero. So I don't know. I think some people are enjoying her. Like I don't want to put words in anyone's mouths, but I seem to recall like McIntyre saying he thought that she might be pretty decent with a little bit of buffs, or like he liked her kit or something. So I think there are some people who are into it, but I don't know. I tried to play the hero and I felt really clunky.
I feel like she also is kind of comp dependent too. Like I've seen her be decent, but it's always because she has like a medic like perma shielding her and healing her, or because she has some sort of like medivh or something helping her, supporting her more. Yeah. And in those situations, she like turns into what you were describing, where she's just like invulnerable almost. And almost obnoxious to play against. But outside of that, I've also seen her played against team comps with really like CC heavy team comps, and she just doesn't get any of her abilities off. Like she's pretty much non-existent.
Like Skullcracker Muradin. Yeah, Skullcracker Muradin will single-handedly make you actually cry.
I had a Auriel main tanking on my team earlier today against a Diablo Muradin, and she literally didn't cast an ability the entire game.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of sketch.
See, the way that I saw her working out well is on single point control maps like Infernal Shrines or Volskaya or something like that. I saw her working really, really well where you set up with like a Deckard and Auriel or something like that. Especially once level 10 hits and she just drops that infinite circle on the ground. It's hard to fight into that. But then at the same time, don't you just dive past her onto her backline? And what can she do? She uses her W to try to, push you away sort of thing. But she doesn't have any, like, it feels like if you dive against her, there's no real repercussions. Whereas if you're diving against like a Garrosh or something, he's just going to toss you further and then knock you up and then taunt you and people are going to one-shot you. But someone like Auriel, it feels like she can't do anything if people do that. Yeah, she can use like Gift of the Naru to heal her allies and such, but I'm not sure. I don't even know where you would begin to kind of make tweaks with the hero.
Yeah, I don't know either. Without like drastically changing her how she is right now.
So like when Hanzo was released and he wasn't performing as well, it was pretty obvious what his problems were. His natural agility was actually so bad. And then they changed that and all of a sudden he is an OP hero. I don't know if it's something as simple as just making one tweak like that.
My first instinct was charge times.
Yeah, I was going to say, would like half the charge time right now be better? Like would you play that character if it was... Yeah. Instead of, because it's 1.5 seconds right now, which is ridiculous. Let's be honest. But if it was like 0.75, would that be like feel playable to you?
Hard to say without testing.
Yeah. So June, I mean, obviously, I can't imagine you've played Rel much or played against Rel much, but based on her kit, what are your thoughts?
I think she has a spot. Like what Carl said, I was thinking about where she is pretty tanky, and once you put her all down, she's pretty good on those point fights. But at the same time, a lot of people told me that she's kind of like a fly. She annoys you, but she doesn't really does much. So I don't think she would be that great as of now.
It's also a concern that right now in the meta, there's like a lot of displacement abilities, and if you get displaced from your, I forget what it's called, the ground effect. If you get displaced for like a split second, even it goes away. So, like, there's so many effects right now in the meta that just even if you get knocked a little distance and you're just outside, boom, your heroic goes away. So
it's a good point.
I was asking Cloud, maybe she has a potential of being a solo lane because she does have pretty good sustain. But then, like, would you pick that hero over heroes like Sonya, Blaze, or any other solo lanes honestly.
Absolutely
so,
not.
No, right now,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But I mean, that can be shifted with numbers changes and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Just make her have better healing, and then you don't need a support. Woohoo! There you go, June. You can play Uriel.
Oh,
Uriel main support. I mean,
Honestly,
I'm
if
They're
down.
already
she,
doing ABBA, so
if she had like Gift of the Naru baseline and maybe changed one of her heroics to make it so that all of her allies were affected by the armor, but way less, like she would
Yeah.
be like way less, maybe like 10 or 15 or something like that. Not the amount that it is currently, but I don't know. She feels like she has a support kit, does she not? She has a gap closer ability. She has her W, which can like save people, and she has a heal.
wow.
Seems like a
Something
support
like
to me.
maybe she could put in like a monk slot.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
where
That's
it's
how
more
I
of a
thought.
defensive monk, something like
Mhm.
that.
she definitely doesn't really feel that much like a Ret Pally. At least not what I remember from WoW.
Not at all. I think that is like probably a big complaint too, from my perspective, is the thematic of like the two-hand wielding Rat Pally like is a complete whiff for me from a flavor perspective,
I agree.
because she feels like a guardian, like she feels like a Zarya basically, where you're just purely defensive oriented.
Yeah, no, she's not a Retribution Paladin. Like, not
Right.
in the least bit.
No,
right?
yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
Crusader Strike? Where's her avenging? Why isn't she
Right.
popping her wings and just rushing at you and one-shotting you? Right? Like
Yeah.
that would be
And-
so cool.
I think it's a challenge for them, though, just talking about thematically when you look at things. Because with a
Yeah.
Retribution Paladin, I'm thinking of, abilities like that, maybe Consecration in the mix, like, and to
Yeah.
make Consecration and stuff like that feel meaningful when you have other abilities like Earthquake. Like, does it have CC? Is it just raw damage? How do you dodge it? Is it in a line in front? Like, comparing it to the heroes that already exist, I think that's quite challenging, because Consecration thematically is pretty bland, right? Or a lot of the Retribution abilities, where's the overlap with Uther, right? Uther has the hammer. Are you just going to give her Hammer Stun too? Is it going to be like a big, almost like Torrent Stomp kind of thing? It could work with her, but I think that's probably some of the internal struggles they had, if I had to guess.
I'm sure, yeah.
But I think we all agree that she just doesn't feel Ret at all. And I played Ret for like 2 years. I'm just like, nope, this is we don't have a proper Ret Pally. We don't have a proper hunter yet. Rexar he's not a hunter. What is that?
Like to me, a Ret Pally would be like what a Sonya is now. Not obviously not in terms of like actual
Yes.
abilities, but like in terms of beefiness to like damage ratio.
Damage ratio, threat ratio, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
pseudo mobility, but not great. Like, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I never played WoW, so I don't know what she is. So what is she supposed to be? It's like Luther, like but woman version.
She's supposed to be like super, like a Ret Paladin is supposed to be like, offensive. Like Uther, if you think of Uther as like a holy paladin, which is healer, then Uriel is supposed to be like the super aggro kill you type instead.
Yeah.
Like
So
when
you've
your
never,
Uther
you've never
goes-
played WoW before?
No.
So Retribution, Ret Paladin is DPS, right? So
Oh,
she's, what she would be a DPS, and she's clearly not a DPS, right?
Oh. I see.
But yeah, Uther's a healer, like you said.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, that's something we'll keep our eyes out, on just where Rel ends up, what kind of changes she gets. It does, the hot slog stats are not promising for her, so we can assume that there will be some changes made to her at some point in time in the near future.
Yeah.
But we can move to talk about Alterac, the new map. And this is the polar opposite. We're all kind of like, yeah, Urel's added to the game, cool. But then there's a Warcraft map and a Warcraft event, and
Yes.
Dude.
it's the best, dude. It's
Yeah.
the best.
This
think-
is the single piece of content that I've ever been the most excited about for HOTS.
I
since
agree.
The beginning.
It's perfect. It just reminds me exactly of how Alterac Valley was in World of Warcraft. Thematically, it looks brilliant. All of the structures look so damn good. Like everything
Yeah.
about it just made me so happy when I first
character
got
select
wind of what was
screen,
that. Yeah, dude, all of it's actually perfect. It's so good.
I agree. I think the team actually knocked it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, the thematic is awesome. I know a lot of people are concerned about gameplay stuff for the cores, but I think the cores are sweet. Like, I don't care what
Yeah.
they have to do to eventually tune the cores right or whatever, but they are sweet right now.
Yeah.
Dude,
And it stays consistent with like HOTS, like always kind of trying to break the mold of like what you would consider a conventional MOBA like setup.
Yeah.
Like I love that they just keep doing that. Like there's Towers of Doom, which is not like anything you've ever seen in any MOBA, and now you have this where like the cores are bosses instead.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn sure this is the best map they've made since Towers. Like, not just thematically, but I think what it's going to be as an esport too. You think about like the base races and the way that late game exists on this map. It is beneficial to have all 3 keeps down, right? There's a meaning to that. It's not just take 1 keep down and end the game, right? It's like, oh, we won a team fight, we get to end the game now. It's like, no, that boss is actually, the core with the armor is actually going to be, pretty tough to kill at level 13 with 1 keep down. And I think it might create longer games, but I think the late game is going to feel more like the better team wins more often. That's just my guess. Random thing I'm going to just sneak in here before queue up because I have it on my screen is they actually, this is like a really small thing, but a really big thing. They updated lobbies for custom games. And to me, this might not seem like a big deal because it really isn't at the end of the day. But the fact that they're thinking about it and looking at this gets me real excited because I think the whole custom game and custom overlay like thing has been overlooked. It feels like it's the redheaded stepchild of the game that just hasn't been touched in years, right? So I'm happy to see something change there, but
It actually confused me. Somebody who lives in custom games a whole lot, being on our team, and I'm sure June can attest, is when we like jumped in for the first time when there was changes. It's like, what the heck is this? I don't know what's going on. And Cattle was like, I have no idea how to set things up, blah blah blah. But yeah, now it's just more clean, looking good.
Very nice. God, I love the aesthetic of this map, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it
perfect.
just
Like
I can't get over it. Honestly,
We've needed a Warcraft map for so long.
Like,
I'm
just
so happy.
the spirit healer in the Hall of Storms.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just like pan around the map for a while. Like I could just watch this all day, honestly.
mapporn.net.
AI's on pleb horses feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's repulsive. They should
Plebbing
be
up our
riding
map.
rams.
Yeah.
Like
All right,
it's
so-
so good. Look
Yeah,
how great
everything
everything
about it.
looks. You're on the wrong side though. You're on the
Dang.
dumb side. You got to go to the good side.
Hey, all right. So we got proper moon wells over here. What do the Horde have? Totem wells. What is that?
We drink the blood of our enemies, dude. Are you kidding me?
Is
Okay,
that
is
ETC's
it-
nose ring? Like,
Wow, you'll flame the
I
totem.
will. The minions, super satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, it comes down to the little things. And, a lot of people used to say, who cares if we have a Warcraft map or not? Because we already have fantasy theme maps. I'm like, this is why. We got the Rifleman, we got the Night Elf, Druid Healer, and we've got the Footman. I guess he's a mage, whatever you want to call him. And then you've got the Orc Grunts, the Blood Elf Healer, and the, Troll Spear Throwers. It's just, like, perfect. It's everything I've
Yeah.
ever wanted.
Really love to see that.
What do you guys think about the mud pits, by the way?
The mud pits.
Ooh, the mud pits.
Is it okay? Are the mud pits like the good addition, or are they just like Volskaya Conveyor Belts 2.0?
I think they're a good addition. I'm gonna say it. I think they're a cool addition.
I'm in that part too. I think
It's gonna add some variability and just a little bit of. Okay, if you get CC'd while you're in a mud pit, you are hooped.
Yeah.
Like that's the cool part about it, and that's going to add some like decision making to teams when it comes to them. I think it's a cool addition. I like stuff like that personally.
How much is the slow from the Muppet?
It
don't know, can you press
ramps up.
C and walk
It
over?
ramps up from 20% to like 40%. I want to say
Oh,
over like
okay.
2 seconds in it, maybe even like 55% or something slow. It's actually like
Oh,
really
that's-
noticeable.
Wow.
Yeah, if you get like storm bolted or something in it, then you are like cripplingly slow.
Hmm.
Damn.
Damn.
I like it. I think.
I think it's
okay.
cool.
It is light years better than conveyor
It
belts. I'll
wrecks
just
your
put
rail,
that out
though.
there.
Like
Well-
you realize Auriel like gets bodied by them by herself because she self slows already, and then just she can't use spells in it.
Oh no,
Oh,
I-
does it mean? Oh, sorry.
no,
I'm
June,
glad they didn't
Okay.
like put them all over the place. I mean, obviously they're in like big points of travel. Like this is probably the one that's the most impactful in terms of like general gameplay, the one in the center of the map. These ones make it a little bit safer in your base. I kind of like that idea. That they have one over here protecting from dives, and they have one over here protecting from dives theoretically, right? Making it more risky. So that's cool. But yeah, I haven't been like, God damn this mud pit once in a game. Whereas like the conveyor belts, I'm constantly just like, I hate my life. This sucks.
Yeah. No, I definitely think they're better. Like, I like that you can interact with them. Like you can plan to stun someone in them. You can plan to displace someone into one for extra value. I think that's what's good.
All right.
Garrosh
the
thrown into a
objective,
queue on a mud pit.
Yeah, exactly.
the objectives are
Like look how slow that Auriel was. Like it's a serious slow.
Wow, that's really slow.
it's pretty
The
brutal.
only thing that I have as a complaint on this map, and I'm going to say it, and this is only because somebody mentioned it on Reddit and now I can't unsee it, is if you go into the mid lane and look at like the main point of contest in mid, there's a bridge, but in Alterac Valley, there's this place called the Field of Strife, and it's this giant open frozen lake filled with the most epic battles you can possibly imagine in World of Warcraft. And if this was just a frozen lake, I feel this map would be 100%. And now that I've thought of that, it's only like 95% for me. But dude, could you imagine, like, you know how epic those fights are.
Yeah.
You jump into Alterac Valley, you just wait for all the Alliance to come by, you sap their backline, you body two dudes, you blind someone else. Like, you could do so many epic things on the Field of Strife. And yeah, that's the only thing where I'm like, small Monka, you know?
Small Monka. It's not the worst. I agree. Having a map in center lane in itself is interesting because it makes it feel open, but it obviously isn't open for all pathing. And I haven't seen any crazy weird engages there because it is a small space when it boils down to it. I mean, we're zoomed out right now, but it's not like it's a huge open space between the lanes. But let's talk about the objective. If you haven't played it, there's the 2 points. You have to channel and then protect it from the guards that will spawn to try to keep them locked in. Right now, the Alliance have successfully channeled. They have to keep the grunts away from the Ram Rider. How do you feel about the whole contention phase? June, we'll go with you. I want to hear from June.
Okay. So I haven't really played this map, so I don't know how impactful those is. But what I've heard is that it actually pushes like crazy. So
the Ram Riders, yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? It's movement speed and damage or attack speed?
Damage.
Okay.
Ooh.
Is it just auto damage or ability damage too?
That's a good question.
I want to say it's 10% of each, but I don't remember for sure.
It gives you mounted speed though while you're running by it.
Yeah, it's
130.
really cool.
Yeah, it does. It does. It definitely seems like it's really strong pushing mechanic. Like I think the map is big, so it's going to seriously incentivize globals and split pushers.
That's me right there.
Wow, that pushes really hard.
Yeah, that's just by itself basically without any reinforcement.
In early
It's taking
game,
the wall. Like that's pretty crazy. But keep in mind the changes to structures and XP going through. So
Yeah, I suspect that change actually had a lot to do with this map, if I had to
Me too.
guess. Because they tend to do that a lot with balance changes. So I don't know. I think the map objective has a lot of potential. It seems pretty strong. We'll have to see how. I think for a lot of this stuff, you just have to see how it plays, right? Like we don't know how it actually feels. Like we can't play the game in Hero League yet, and I know I'm not queuing up in quick matches instead to get a chance to play Aldrich Pass, you know. So I'm just waiting for it to Hero League so I can really get a strong judgment of the actual gameplay.
It feels pretty good though. I do like the one thing that's really unique about this because it's obviously the big difference is the boss, right? Or the core. So it's I call it the boss, even though there are bosses, the mountain giants that exist in 2 lanes. So this is the second map we've received, like Cursed Hollow, where there are 2 bosses that exist on the map. They're very powerful. They cannot solo a boss, but they do pretty well. Or cannot solo a core, they do pretty well. Your core is alive and has 60 armor with all 3 keeps standing. Each keep is worth 20 armor. You destroy all 3, he has 0 armor. And he does fight. And he actually has a big whirlwind, right? They'll spin, they will do AoE, and they will cleave through minion waves. So minion waves on their own are not going to effectively kill. I mean, maybe with catapults plus the boss, sure, it'll probably kill the base. But catapults alone will not successfully kill the base, which is something that's pretty interesting about this map. Because other maps you could think about that happening. When it gets down to 50%, doesn't matter. It's going to heal up. If you wipe on the base,
That's
it will
super
heal
important.
the fall. Yeah, it will heal the fall. And that's crazy.
That being said, aren't the catapults on this map not actually catapults? They're reavers, so they're melee, so they actually tank the boss, which makes it so it's a lot easier to kill the boss with quote unquote catapults.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's really, really cool.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
like a Hellbat from Braxis, basically.
Yeah.
In terms of like its stat distribution.
they look
That's
like
really cool.
gnolls, so they just look like little hoggers. These guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
when's he coming? Auger, this is the time to bring him in. They were already showing that they have null models. This is actually them saying, yeah, you know what? Hogger is coming soon, TM.
Hoggers in the chat.
Oh, wait, that's my new emote.
Hoggers.
Hogger, yeah.
Wait, March, you're genius, dude. Cover, you in here? Yeah.
But it's also
Hog
cool
champ.
that-
Oh no, I'm losing.
Please no hog champ. It's also cool that the objective will protect itself, though. You can't set it and forget it. You can't, channel the objective and then, send your whole team out. You have to leave at least one person to keep the guards away because they will channel it back on their own. I thought that was a really nice touch because I feel like otherwise this map would be hyper snowballing, and this at least kind of keeps someone in check on the map and makes you, respond to that somewhat.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
definitely. Did you guys look at the terrain much? Like in terms of gameplay flow, I'm kind of concerned that there's only one non-boss mercenary camp for each team, and it's a very large map, and that camp has extremely strong defensive terrain situated around it, which suggests to me that like invading is going to be a non-option, and it might feel a little empty from a macro perspective because of that.
I haven't looked at that.
Yeah, so the camp is like it's got a thick wall towards the center, and it's got a mud pit on one side and a brush leading into the base or something, and it's just like,
Oh yeah.
it's like the mud pit makes it super hard to invade here. You're really close to your walls. So
It's your camp.
Oh.
Like stealing
Yeah,
it
it
is
is no escape.
suicidal.
yeah.
Wait, your only escape is through a mud pit too.
Yeah,
you
so you
invade into
can't
like
invade.
a Garrosh or against a global. They can TP on that bottom side. Freaking!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's actually so scary.
So I don't think you can ever invade on this map, those camps.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I never thought about that. But at least the bosses are there, and the bosses aren't that hard to take in this map.
Bosses are really strong though, pushing wise.
They're strong pushing, but they don't seem to be that threatening, right? It's not like, I think 2 or 3 people could be enough to get a boss in some situations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried to get the bosses much. Like, I don't know who can solo them or duo them well or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. That's an interesting point when you talk about just the macro play of the game. Obviously, the objective is going to be the big point of interest. It does feel very brawly in the center, considering how big the map is. It's just kind of top to bottom. That's kind of where all the action happens for a huge portion of the game. But I love the map. I mean, if we had to review the map, June, just based on aesthetics, since you haven't played it, where would you put it?
Out of 10?
Out of 10. Yeah, let's do it.
I think that map is by far most like beautiful artistic map ever. So I want to put it 8 out of 10.
Ooh, only an 8. Damn. Okay, hard,
On-
hard client, March.
Just off aesthetic?
No, I mean overall, whole map for you. You've played it.
It's 9 out of 10 for sure.
Oh,
Like I'm super lenient when it comes to like the actual mechanic and like balancing issues. I'm like, we'll get that right
We'll get that right.
eventually, but the fact that we finally have a Warcraft map and how well it's done, in my opinion, like I give it a 10 almost. Like I love this map, dude. I want to just like queue up customs all day and just play this map.
Same. It's the first time I felt like that about a map. Kala.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally the exact same way. It's the only time I've ever been like, hey, I want to not play Hero League and actually just try to find this map
Yeah.
and play it.
No, I actually did that for the first
that does
time,
not
like,
exist for
yesterday.
me. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool, man. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
Dunkus.
I have to agree with the guys on aesthetics. Definitely like 9.5 out of 10. Looks beautiful. I love the cores. I just think it's really well done. Gameplay concerns, I'm gonna be kind of tentative here. I think it might be like an 8 plus or minus 2 points. Just depending on how everything plays out. I'm a little concerned about the macro.
So a 6 to 10.
Well, yeah, okay. So it's a
positive.
three-lane
It's
map, so
positive.
it can't be that bad, right? Like it's a three-lane map. It can't be Warhead tier. So
Wait, Warhead's a 3-lane map though.
yeah, I mean Warhead's the worst three-lane map, is what I'm saying, and it's definitely not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
all right.
All right. Dude, I give it an 11 out of 10. This map makes me happy. This map, like, it just does it for me. It's what I wanted. It's cool that it's actually like, you know, primarily dwarves versus orcs. I think it's a cool theme. I always wanted Warsong, but this delivers. You know, it's also, you know, a lot of people are like, how are they going to do a Warcraft map that's going to be all green and shit, not feel that, you know, feel that fantasy. I'm like, doesn't have to be green. World of it's a huge world, man. They did Alterac, it's all snowy, and it's really satisfying that they found this completely different palette, that's something that feels fresh and different to look at in the game, but also nailed that Warcraft feel, and I think it's super cool. And I'm gonna say it right now, every other franchise has two maps. So that next Warcraft map that has to be coming, right? It better be. Maybe in 8 months. I don't know. But I just want that now. That's all I want. That's all I think about.
What would you want to see? What would you want to see out of Warcraft?
Warsong Gulch.
I mean,
Yeah,
I want
I was
Warsong
gonna say.
Gulch, right? I want
Yeah,
the
I think
Night
we all want
Elf
Warsong.
buildings in the game because I'm a Night Elf player. Of course I'm a Night Elf player, right? I'm a filthy elf. Yes, I'm wearing
What
my
would you
Alliance
want?
jersey.
Dunk like undeads.
I just don't think you can do Warsong Gulch because I think you're gonna like, if you're implementing Warsong Gulch, you're gonna feel obligated to try and make it a capture the flag, and I just don't think that can work in a MOBA.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be really
So that's my concern with Warsong Gulch. You could definitely do like an Ashenvale versus Barons type thing, or like capture maybe the Lord, like you said, Undead. Like the Lord Aeron area has like a lot of really cool conflict that you could do. I don't know. I just don't want them to try and make capture the flag, and it's like, you know, wonky.
Yeah. Well, screw it then. Do Hillsbridge Foothills. Terramil versus South Shore. Let's give us
Oh yeah,
that. That's fire.
that's
what I
nostalgia,
want.
boys.
Dude, what if they did something totally memey and it's like Murlocs versus Gnolls?
I don't know if I'd be happy with that.
Couldn't hear that for like hours on end, dude. That would be brutal. But Terran Mill versus South Shore would be really sweet. Okay, the only thing that I have to say as a counter argument to the Warsong Gulch thing is we have items already in the game, something that you can pick up and it drops upon death.
True.
I wonder if they could actually do it in such a way where capture the flag actually does work. I don't know. HOTS is the game to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
we
HOTS
have
is the
easy
computer.
maps. You know, we got Towers of Doom. You know, HOTS is so cool because they do things that defy traditional MOBA conventions. So if there is any game to do it, it's our game. But yeah, I could see it also posing quite a few problems. Yeah, Arathi Basin would be pretty cool. A resource-based map where you kind of control different points. Maybe only 3 points. Maybe 5. I don't know. But yeah, that could be fun too.
There's a lot of cool potential, right? They could do something themed around the dragon aspects. They could do something themed around the Titans. I had theorized a Titans map a long time ago, and I'm not gonna rebuttal that right now. But I'm looking forward to another. I just hope it's not Frozen Throne, because if we get another Snow Palette map, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's disappointing. All right, that's my one like. I know
Let's battle on the top of Deathwing. Can we just have that? Can we
That's
just have the
literally
whole
a boss
battle take
fight. That's a
place on
boss
top of
fight.
Deathwing?
Yeah.
I know.
Make a whole map around. No, but I mean, I completely agree. Like this map that we have so far, the Outreach Valley map, like knocks it out of the park. Like I was telling Kala, like they could have. I was so desperate for a Warcraft map. They could have just reskinned like a
so
Cursed Hollow with
thirsty.
Warcraft assets, and I would have been like, I would have eaten it up. I've been like, finally Warcraft map. But they gave me so much more than I ever asked for, with like the cores being bosses and just staying so true to like the OG Outreach Valley and stuff.
It still blows my mind that it took them 3 years
Yeah,
to
same.
make a Warcraft
Same.
map. And, you know, it is what it is. But the other part of this event is obviously the Warcraft-themed skins. We've got the Warsong Johanna, which is amazing. It is.
It's my wife.
The voiceover
It's my
is so
wife.
pop.
Oh, I've actually
Voiceover
heard
is
it.
hoggers.
I want to hear her. Talk to me, baby.
Yeah, the
Same with
Johanna
the-
looks so good. Same with Junkrat. Ah,
Yeah, Junkrat and Johanna have the different voiceovers,
Well,
and they're both fantastic. I've been playing the Junkrat skin in Hero League, and it's hilarious.
Greetings, friend.
ooh, that's spicy. Let me get the Junker.
Junker sounds like a straight up goblin.
also the High Warlord Garrosh skin. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, that was an insta buy
It's
for me.
literally daddy. Like it's such a good skin.
So, as
Yeah,
as someone
sick.
who was Grand Marshal
XD,
back in the
look at
day, the
Grand
Grand Marshal
Marshal.
variant is not Grand Marshal, dude. There's
No,
too many,
man.
There's too many colors
I
in this
saw-
palette. That shit should be
It just needs to
golden.
be straight gold. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like glowing. Like give it.
He
I
also
think they
does
didn't
a
want him to look
Claymore.
like Uther though. Like he would have looked exactly like Uther if they did that.
Uther with a big sword.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
You call him daddy.
That is actually fair. It's literally the same helmet that Uther wears. But they do look a little bit different, and of course you'd have the I guess you'd have like the Grand Marshal shield when you go taunt, and then the Claymore when you go
Smash, yeah.
smash.
Dude,
Yeah.
Can
I
we
don't know,
talk
that'd
about
be
that
so
spirit healer skin though? Like
That's
that
awesome.
skin
Whoa, that one looks.
Dude,
is
The
insane.
Spirit Healer and the Rhaegar are literal
Drekthar?
10 out of 10 instant
Holy-
buys.
Oh my.
Absolutely snap instant buys.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
the-
Drektar's wolf form is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so good, dude. Like
I'd say like this
Drektar.
content drop skins wise is also just the best one they've had
Hoggers,
so
yeah.
far.
And
Hoggers.
with the
Hoggers.
Nightslayer Valeera, it looks
Yeah.
so good, you guys. Holy.
And they're pretty
Seventh
reasonably
Legion
priced, too.
version, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so
He-
glad these skins are actually purchasable. Like they're not all legendaries.
My only complaint about Nightslayer Valeera is I feel like she needs Perdition's Blade and Corehound's Tooth. Corehound Tooth.
She has that on another skin.
She
On
has
her-
Perdition. Yeah. No, she has Corehound Tooth on another skin. I didn't think she had Perditions. Did she?
I don't remember. That skin. Oof.
Oh, that one's
It's
fire.
so
That's my mom.
June's pants just got tight. He's like,
Oh,
yo,
man.
give me that. Like, ooh.
Oh,
I love how this episode just turned into just.
It's fine. It's fine. We can oogle and ogle once in a while. Dude, the mounts though, like, I like me a good Ramboy. That's a good Ramboy.
Little Rambo.
Filthy.
Wait, I haven't
Filthy
seen all
alliance.
Oh, look at that Ramboy.
So I don't like that the Ram and the Wolf are not craftable though. I will say that. That's my one complaint with this content drop.
They always do that with mounts, man. They always do that with mounts.
Yeah.
They gotta
Yeah.
get their dollar bills, y'all. I'm about to spend $20 or
Look at
whatever
that.
it is for my mounts.
Cool.
Look at this
That
Wolf
thing's-
Chan. They're
Oh, the
spicy.
glow- I didn't
Wait,
realize
that's
it had
actually so
glowy
cool.
feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty sure it
glowing
leaves
feet.
footprints too, as it runs.
All right, I have to test that now.
I think it would. I mean, look at its glowy feet.
How do I try?
That sigh is the sound of me opening my wallet.
All I have to say, you
I
guys,
tried it.
I feel like we need more Warcraft skins, okay? Like, these overhauls are so darn good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Dude.
just because I'm a Warcraft player at heart,
Dude,
but
same.
like
yeah.
like I feel like even people who don't play Warcraft can look at something like the Orc skin Johanna and be like, "Hey, this is freaking sick. Like, I want to play this skin."
Dude, it's
Absolutely.
so good. God. It just makes me
yeah, I don't
happy.
play Warcraft, and all these skins looks amazing.
There you go.
Crazy.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay, here we go. This
Oh,
is my
Dad?
dad, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Dad?
There he is. Look at this. It's so good. We look at it's his axe is like a mix between the High Warlord's
An Arcanite
two-handed
Reaper.
axe. Yeah, and like or is it? I don't know. It's so freaking sweet. The shoulder pads are like perfect. Helmet's perfect. Everything is so good.
Arcanite
I love this skin.
Reaper. I'm
Get
looking
the
it
donut
up.
on the back. Ooh, you love to see it.
Classic.
I mean, Arcanite Reaper has the skull, which is what I was thinking of, but yeah, it's pretty similar.
I think the High Warlord battle axe does too, doesn't it? High Warlord. Yeah. Oh, and not quite, but yeah. Actually, it is a skull technically. Yeah, it is a skull with the Horde logo on it.
apparently it's free weekend in World of Warcraft, everyone. So now's the time.
I did see that.
What are you waiting for?
God, filthy horde, get off my screen.
Whoa, dude.
Fine, I'll leave.
You're gonna get absorbed by the Shadow Realm anyways. Yeah, it's a super cool event. It's really fun. And again, guys, type !quest in the chat. You can learn more about the Call to Arms event that Kala, March, Duncan, and myself are all involved in. June will be a glorious spectator like the rest of you. It's really fun. Like tomorrow I'm doing a 12-hour stream. Kala's stream starts like right after mine. March, you are on Sunday.
I'm actually the anchor of the whole achievement.
The anchor, you gotta round it out.
Yeah, all the achievements that are left, I'm gonna be left with like, don't let any of your teammates die for 2 games in a row. Stuff like that.
2 games in a row.
So hard.
It's not an achievement.
Here's what you do, March. You make a Smurf. You go to bronze. You just I don't even know who can accomplish that achievement. It doesn't seem possible.
It's like getting comms and like beg my teammates not to die.
Yeah, it's really fun. There's a lot of cool things listed there. Palatine banged out like half the achievements day 1, so
Yeah,
I mean, some of them were
Alliance
super easy.
for sure.
yeah.
You guys are catching up today.
Are we? I haven't checked it. Feels
Wait,
good.
you guys are gonna lose. Like, let's just be completely honest, right? Like, we're gonna
Damn.
body you in every way.
Yeah.
Achievements in the best of 5. It's not. It's just gonna be 3 quick games. Like,
Yeah,
it's
3-0 easy clap.
3-0 easy clap. Like, let's be completely honest.
I'm going to the hyperbolic time chamber this weekend, boys.
Jake's gonna just literally grind like 100 hours of Hero League between now and the show match. He's gonna show up.
Listening
ready.
to South Park montage music the whole time. He's just sweating with the bandana on. Like,
The aura around him. You are already dead.
I'm Tono Ken now? Okay, good. Anime memes. Let's go. All right, so we've talked a lot about the new content. It's fantastic. We could keep going for hours and hours and hours, but we should definitely talk about the mid-season brawl. And I kind of want to force you all to watch a commercial break while I use the bathroom before we get into that. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, guys. And when we return, we'll be jumping into the mid-season brawl. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.